Okay.
1999, most anticipated film of the 90s. The arguable, I don't remember if it won the 90s discussion, but,
did not, but it was
Griffin, take it away with Phantom Menace.
All right,
Let's see. Here's why you're wrong.
bro. Bro, Phantom Menace
All right.
did not end up in my top 3 personal rankings
Of Star Wars.
of Star Wars. But my number 3 is far more controversial.
Maybe not.
I know what it is.
I don't think.
It really might not.
Maybe not.
It's what I think.
But listen, I'm going to tell you guys something. This is an incredible movie. And the fact that you guys continue to not like Phantom Menace is disgusting. And you need to grow up and like Phantom Menace.
No, man. I hope I like a solid 7 minutes of that movie.
I like a solid is bad.
a solid 6 minutes.
And I'm going to tell you why it's actually.
Talk about look up in the dictionary. You see that Phantom Menace right next to boring.
Opening sequence, incredible. Our first time seeing Jedi Knights in action, incredible.
I'm just echoing everything
However,
it says on this one.
the freaking Superman run. We never see that again.
Okay, problem. I agree with John.
Okay. lore issue. We'll cover that later. Okay.
Inconsistencies. Inconsistencies.
No, listen. Someone choosing not to use a power again is not inconsistency. It's stupidity.
Let's just
all right.
You know, it's inconsistency with the main person who created the series.
No, the speed thing's dumb, but I just whatever. It's one.
It is what it is.
The opening scene is great. However, it is less than 4 minutes, and then out of nowhere,
You dissect
Jar
everything
Jar.
right now. No. You dissect everything right now that you like.
Okay.
Not sarcastic. No, don't be sarcastic. Don't be. I know. You dissect everything that you actually like about Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Right now.
All right, here we go. Actually likes. All right, so
Genuinely like.
the overall world building is incredible. It's what Lucas did in the original trilogy, and then some times 10. It's incredible. The set design and the overall sound design and set design, everything looks great. Okay. However, I'll continue with the good stuff. The overall lore is great. It gets you thinking of like, oh my gosh, we have 2 other films and other stories to tell. This is great. I'll get to that though. The overall seeing the Jedi functioning and literally there, the Jedi Knights, that's awesome. The overall Sith, this whole extra thing, like what is this? You never heard about the Sith. It was just the light and the dark side. So now we have the Sith. This is interesting. All this lore is happening and it's great. Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, awesome. Okay. Darth Maul, incredible looking villain.
Sounds pretty good.
Okay. Wait, hold on.
Good.
The music is incredible. I think here's a controversial thing. I think John Williams' music, this is going to kill me, but John Williams' music in the prequels is a little bit, to me, in my opinion, a little bit more superior to the original trilogy's music. Yes.
I would say on par with each other.
It's borderline on par. Looks like a little bit like that. Okay. So, but yeah. All right. Ready? Jar Jar Binks as soon as he happens, you cannot.
I'm going to pause you right now. Listen to the word coming out of my mouth because this is important.
No, because we all know everyone's actual takes on Jar Jar.
No, Jar Jar is no more annoying than Luke in episode 4. Don't even at me. He's a little punk.
You should have said C-3PO, you motherfucker.
Wait, this is Luke, all of episode 4. I'm sad.
Are you kidding me? C-3PO is what Jar Jar is.
The traffic compactor. What if Jar Jar is at least helpful?
Yeah, I would have agreed with you.
Luke destroys the Death Star. That's not helpful.
Luke destroys the Death Star.
And you want to know what Jar Jar does?
Here's an ejection of the Force.
Like he fucking he can't even do anything.
He makes fun sounds.
I was gonna say Jar Jar is an annoying character. Yes,
absolute bonkers right now.
However,
get in on this stuff.
Yes, he's an annoying character. But does he ruin an entire film? No, I wasn't going to say Luke is that annoying.
You should have said C-3PO. I would agree with you.
Luke is annoying in the first 30 minutes of episode 4, but
What a piece of shit,
he's
bro.
not.
Are you kidding?
Nowhere near
What's
as.
he annoying in the film? He's just like,
The entire thing?
when?
Because he's so whiny. He's so okay. So
Whiny in the beginning.
let's have this
Really
example.
whiny in like the first scene.
Ben dies, a man that he's not known super well. He's laying down in the Millennium Falcon. Princess Leia's entire home planet was just obliterated in front of her eyes. And she's like, "Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, I can't believe.
Is your karate master dead? Oh no, you have one lesson from? Like, come on.
All right,
Come on, people.
we have.
What's happening here?
That's a fault. That is a fault of not having almost any emotion in the original Star Wars towards people's deaths. But Ben Kenobi is one of the main characters of the story. You can't just bypass his death and pretend that it didn't
I'm not
happen.
trying to, but again, I'm just saying, my impression of Luke in episode 4 is, again, what I would argue is a setup to his larger character arc, but is essentially helpless.
Jar Jar has no arc.
Jar Jar needs no arc. He's already perfect.
Well, Jar Jar does in a sense.
Oh, you're trying to fuck with me now. Jar Jar.
Does have no arc.
Grab your torch and pitchforks.
It's
It's clumsy, and then later on, his clumsiness pays off to helping the Gungans survive the attack.
Oh, but
Yes.
his clumsiness just led to so much like plot.
Very
realistically,
Plot convenience with Jar Jar.
I
It's
definitely
insane.
know that Jar Jar is not a perfect character and not a necessarily enjoyable character. I find some of his comedic moments to be enjoyable. I think some of it's funny. The stuff he does on Tatooine is freaking hilarious when they're at the table.
That's you still being a 5-year-old, though.
Bro, it's funny as all get out, man. He's like,
He steps in shit. He steps in shit.
Again.
That's funny.
Yes, it's funny. What are you talking about? Oh, no, football. So, but again, regardless of whether they like Jar Jar, which I'm not saying you have to like
How
Jar
does
Jar,
Jar Jar ruin the film?
it does not ruin the film in the
Okay,
slightest.
all right.
Yeah.
All right. So overall,
Yeah.
the overall story is boring as hell. No, wait. The overall story is boring. Is boring.
What's
It because the stuff in Tatooine is you're literally
Whoever
just
edited it
you
probably
either-
died.
you-
Okay.
No, he survived. But like it's literally to do this huge unnecessary pod races and all this stuff to get one part from a ship.
Don't even get me
Exactly. From a ship when you could easily have done a cool, awesome scene like a canteen scene where you're like literally trying to, dude. No, come on.
Are we not going to sit here and say the pod racing isn't incredible?
The sound design's amazing. Wait,
probably-
the sounds. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm honest. The sound design's amazing, but you can't tell me that. I look, making another left turn is fucking incredible.
No, you're in NASCAR? That's what they do. People watch that their entire lives.
Yeah, not me.
Is pod racing bad for 1999?
Don't justify the leer.
I think.
For it revolutionizing.
Well, here's the thing. We're not talking about when it came out. We're talking
Talking about how
about
the film holds up. Yeah,
now and also in comparison to these guys. So
correct.
Yeah.
I cannot.
All right.
I cannot.
It's Daddy's turn.
No, I'm not.
No, you already had
John's
your
not done.
pod racing sucks.
Poppy's still going.
Jar Jar sucks. The pacing sucks. The only good things about it is Darth Maul, and they ruined that. The only good things about it is young Obi-Wan
Qui-Gon?
and Qui-Gon, but
Just
they
Liam Neeson
also
playing Jesus
ruined that
though.
too. So those three
But
characters,
Neeson's incredible.
He is incredible.
he is, but he has
He's
to
a true Jedi. He's the
He
true Jedi. And
is
you beat him in the first chapter.
carrying the weight of baby Anakin and Jar Jar and all that stuff that's happening. So like you're forced to love Qui-Gon. So not that I don't like him, but here's a question. Is Qui-Gon actually good in that movie, or is he just the best out of the worst characters that are in there?
No, he's actually good.
Absolutely.
That was an argument.
He is the example of what a Jedi should be, and that is something that actually sets the tone for the entire series as a more not as pronounced story arc, but it is something that eventually pays off.
He's a foil.
Wait a minute though, but continue with that though, because are you saying that with like Liam Neeson is just because he's such a great actor that he can still
Like he
have so much gravitas when in reality everybody in there barely shows emotion.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. I was like,
I mean, they do, but it's
him.
No. Yes, I give it that.
Him and Ewan McGregor
very
are like
emotionless in the-
carrying the entire movie, and then Darth Maul shows up and just steals the show, but then he's gone.
It feels like Lucas really wanted to go for this like ancient, old timey, almost like it's like a like a religious biblical piece from like classic cinema of the way everyone talks, and it's very like
Okay, yeah.
very royal, very
Yeah.
formal. Like he was going for something there with the film, all the different cultures he was bringing in.
Because, he's in his mind, in his perspective, he's going back in time
Yes. Going back in time.
from A New Hope, and that's how that feels. But
I realized that last time I watched the film, where I'm like, yeah, it is emotionless, but it's emotionless for purpose of this is a different world that we're in, and this one's so even distinct. I would say one fault of it is that it feels very separated from the other two films within its trilogy.
agreed. No, I agree with that.
Yeah, the other two are just better.
So that's a problem. But that's a problem. No, it is.
Interesting.
It is. No.
Lucas's original outline, right, for how many films he wanted to do when it was originally going to be 12, right? The prequel trilogy was supposedly going to be 3 films taking place in the Clone Wars, and that was going to be episodes 2, 3, and 4. Wow, and we're talking like in the mid 70s when this stuff was kind of being thought of. The first episode was supposed to be a prelude to everything else that was going to happen. He did accomplish that with the Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is a setup to the notion of everything that's going on, and it delivers on that.
Yes, this is, to me. All right, you guys ready for the tangent? It's about to get real. All right, listen. No, I'm about to paint this in a new light to you. Phantom Menace is the linchpin from before to after.
Yeah.
Okay. Before, everything was just going happy hunky dory, and after, things were still going as they were for another 10 years before Attack of the Clones. Phantom Menace is the story that is told of the first pebbles that started Avalanche.
Yep.
Right.
Sorry. Yeah. That's
Now,
great.
this is Lucas telling a story that is more than just good versus evil, more than just pew pew lightsaber swing, which has plenty of, and it's amazing and I love. All right, this is Lucas giving us political intrigue. All right, the parts that people say are boring, I find very interesting from a lore perspective. We're finding out about the Republic, how it functions. We are seeing immediately how it's corrupt, and seeing how it's being manipulated against the people of Naboo.
And to the
bureaucrats. And to the bureaucrats. All right. We are also getting an idea of the galaxy as a whole and how it functions, the Outer Rim, and slavery. We get an entire section of Lucas talking about slavery, how slavery works in the galaxy, how there's a boy in that situation where, again, you have to think about the Force as a concept of fate, right? You're complaining about how they're stuck on Tatooine. It was not an accident that they ended up on Tatooine. It's the will of the Force, right? They are escaping Naboo. These 2 Jedi, again, now this is kind of back to my previous argument. If this was a show, if we were watching the show, the Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon show, this would be the start of a season where their mission is to go help the trade relations in Naboo. And all this stuff happens, right? They get there and things immediately go awry. They're on the planet. They're exploring the planet that they're sent on a mission to help with. They're rescuing the queen. This is an episode. These are episodes, okay?
They're episodes.
They're getting the queen out, all right? Their ship gets hit. They crash land. They have to emergency land. What do they find there? The will of the Force. They find a Virgins. They find Anakin, right? And then there's this next story about slavery, how that impacted him, how that impacts his mom, how that affects him emotionally. We get to see emotional and character growth in Anakin in Tatooine through the pod race. We get to see him rise up to a challenge, overcome an adversity, right? We take him from there. And then we go to Coruscant. We get more political intrigue. We get more people's opinions, more of people getting in the way of something to where they're not going to help Naboo. The queen is literally there, and the Republic is so corrupt that they're not going to help her.
Yeah.
She's giving them the evidence that that's happening. I find that fascinating.
Man, they're on the pay of the Trade Federation.
And so what does she do? She says, I'm going back. And the Chancellor and Palpatine's like, you're crazy. Why are you going back? It's dangerous. And then the Jedi now no longer have an obligation to assist her. But now because they made a connection with her,
Also,
they go back and help.
She did not want to fight. Naboo was a very peaceful planet. She did not want to fight. She realized that she wanted peaceful negotiation.
Yes, and it didn't happen in there. They go back. They say, I find all of this fascinating. So not to mention, hold on, I'm not quite done yet. Okay, not quite done yet. Okay. We get the Sith in the background who are pulling the strings. All right. We obviously understand that Palpatine is Darth Sidious, right? Spoilers. Sorry. All right. Sidious, like that's pretty obvious. We find out that he's pulling the strings already, just as a chancellor. We also get to see how he uses this event to level up in power, become the chancellor after from a senator. So we get to see how he manipulates the system.
He genuinely did not want her to go back to Naboo.
No, he didn't. He needed her.
Yeah.
Yes. And so
that's fun.
She goes back. We find out about the Sith. We get Darth Maul as a reveal, who's just menacing. interesting, mysterious, right? And we don't learn about him, which is okay. Subtext is okay. That we don't know a lot about these Sith yet. All right,
Great
we get
representation of a Sith, though.
exactly. We get arguably the best fight one of the best fight sequences in the entire franchise,
Top 4,
and in my opinion, the best score in the entire franchise.
100%.
And the ramifications of what happens in that fight, aka Qui-Gon dying, father figure instead of a brother figure, not raising him. Dave Filoni, God bless you, is what sets up the rest of this series.
So it fits.
So thank you for giving me the Cliff Notes version of Phantom Menace.
And
Why is it that you saying that made it incredible? And I'm like, holy crap, there is so much emotion.
No,
but then when you watch it, it's flat.
No, it's not. That's the thing. Is like
It is.
all right.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I hear you. Probably would have made a lot better of a show. But even then, it would have been a mediocre show.
Because you get chunks of it, so yeah, you could breathe a little bit.
I want to add one thing into all this, and that is, I wish when Palpatine's leaning over talking about the new chancellor, I wish he went on about himself. Where he's like, "Now to pick a new chancellor, a strong chancellor,
One with good hair.
handsome chancellor, honey."
one that has 2 lightsabers. Who could that be? Now listen, I told you guys it was not in my top 3. I think it landed at number 5 on my overall Star Wars list. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's the best thing that ever came out of the franchise. I think it deserves a place in my collection.
I think it is good and good flick.
I think it's a perfect and not a fan.
I would also agree. It's not a fan.
We got in my collection, good flick, not a fan.
All right, I'm pretty upset, but I will compromise good flick.
Compromise good flick for now.
For now, it has to be.
For now,
Because
sure.
there's no way. I mean, they're actually no, they're probably. Yeah,
I will compromise good flick.
good flick's fine right now.